Set my STEEZ North going on. Yes, Lord, bringing you the game review of Carlton, North Melbourne. Carlton won this game pretty handily. Well, I guess coming into the game, I wasn't so convinced that North Melbourne would just roll over and lose this match and not put up a fight. We've had problems with Nick Larkey in the past. Carlton obviously have had problems with Nick Larkey in the past, so that's always a thought in my head. And Luke Davies-Uniacke has been having a great season, if you ask me. And they put up a good fight against Gold Coast all last week, so I didn't think it was just going to be a gimme win for Carlton. I thought North had a good chance to win this game. Also, given the fact that they had George Wardlaw come back into the side, who gives it a crack every time, and we've seen Carlton play lazy at times, so that could spell for a recipe of disaster as long as North would be able to capitalize off the energy that Wardlaw brought. So I was fearful of that, but my fear was irrational given the score. Carlton won 153-71, 24 goals, 9 behinds for Carlton, 11 goals, 5 behinds for North. And this was not a performance I seen coming from Carlton, bro. Like, you could tell they had some confidence based off the win that they had against West Coast last week. And they just looked great. They tightened up a lot of the problems it seemed like that they had during their 4 losses that they've had this season. They played a complete game. They played the whole way, which was very encouraging to see as Carlton fans. I know Blues fans will be happy about that. And on the flip side, North just didn't quite show up today, man. Like the game, they maybe had a shot after halftime or at halftime, the second quarter. So really North was getting smoked in the first half, the first quarter. It was pretty bad. I think it was like at least 40 points the margin going into quarter time, and they did a good job as far as adjusting in the second quarter, wrestling the lead back to 20, kind of shut down the marks that Carlton was able to have, and was able to put more pressure on the Blues. But at the end of the day, it really just wasn't enough, bro. The Blues were just too good out of the middle. Center clearances, just clearances in general. In the fourth half, Carlton was really just able to work their way into scoring position, bro. They had a decent amount of times where they were just moving the ball around in the fourth half of their own fourth half, and just found a way to score, bro. 24 goals, which is not something you're really used to seeing, especially the forward pressure as well that Carlton brought. That's something that I'm not used to seeing Carlton really have, but Corey Durden did a great job. Just the forwards in general, bro. Like, they looked very impressive, bro. So I'm really happy to see that, and maybe they can build off the momentum that they've had built over the last 2 games. And the young blokes, Will White, Cooper Lord came on at a sub and had a decent outing. Granted, the game was probably already over, but Matty Carroll as well, just clean with the ball movement, nice decision making. And I'm taking all this with a grain of salt because it is North, and they look like the North of old, if you will. This game, Nick Larkey wasn't significant at all. The mids really just got ran over, and they just really weren't able to stop the Blues. The Blues looked unstoppable. They had great ball movement as well. So, it's a great win for the Blues overall. George Hewitt continues to excel, playing a great game. Zach Williams had a great second half as far as goal scoring. Corey Durden, like I said, he played a great first half, great game in general. And it really just looked like the team was a lot more cohesive and have more of an idea of what they're trying to do. So the Blues look good, man. They when they get going, they look good, especially if they can play a whole game. Charlie back in form, looking like Charlie that we've known to see, come to see after his last couple, after his injury-riddled seasons that he's had. And, yeah, Carlton may be a force, man. We still got to see it happen against great opposition, better opposition. But if they can continue this brand of footy, I think that they can be competitive. North, on the other hand, sadly, we're looking like North is back to the North of old. And I hope that they can at least replicate the performance that they had last week against Gold Coast and actually able to sneak a couple wins over teams that are really just doubting them. I don't think they're all the way dead yet, but a couple more performances like this, and they'll start creeping. The doubt will start creeping in your head, and it's just going to spiral into a bad season. So next game we have West Coast versus Essendon, and coming into this game, I thought this was an easy tip for Essendon. I don't think West Coast really gave me a reason to expect them to put up any type of fight, especially after last week losing to Carlton, who has not been having a great season to say the least. But I was wrong, bro. I was wrong. West Coast put up a fight, especially early on. But the first quarter, I haven't seen West Coast play like that in quite a long time. They were up on Essendon by about 20 points, and they looked like they were on their way to a win, man. They ended up losing this game by 2 points. And it was very possible for them to get the win. I think it was a couple self-inflicted wounds that made them lose, on top of Essendon just having a little bit more hunger at the end of the game. But early on, Jake Waterman, I want to say he had about 4 goals in the first quarter, bro. He was really putting the defense under the pump from Essendon, and Essendon couldn't really do shit, man. They were struggling, bro. And it was very surprising, bro. I was quite surprised to see how West Coast had came out. But in the second quarter, Essendon really kind of tightened up the screws a little bit. They kept chipping at the lead. Really, the course of the game, they kept chipping at the lead that West Coast built for themselves. And they kept going, kept chipping. Mostly off the back of Peter Wright up forward. This is his first game back. He ended up with 6 goals, and he just had a goal really when it mattered every single time during the big moments. Second half for West Coast, I was really impressed by Elijah Hewitt. I've been wanting to see Elijah Hewitt make that leap, make that jump, in being a very impactful player coming into the season. He's a young midfielder that West Coast really like. He's just been hampered by injuries first couple of years, and hasn't really been up to it this season so far, but he had a great game, bro. I was very impressed by him, so that was a good thing to see, on top of Jake Waterman coming back. And Jack Williams is another forward that they have who made a good impact too. Jamie Cripps, I was kind of impressed to see how he played too. He left a couple of points on the board, but just overall they looked way better than they have. Third quarter, it was more of the same, with Essendon really just chipping at the lead. Ended up being a tie game at 61 going into the fourth quarter. And West Coast really struggled to get points on the board in the fourth quarter. Highlighted by one key moment that I really want to – I was very baffled by it, bro. Like, I think it was under 2 minutes. I think it was 7-point lead. Essendon had scored, had a couple goals while West Coast was struggling. And they had a nice passage of play, West Coast, and Liam Ryan took a mark inside 50. And he decided to play on instead of just kicking. He was inside 50, bro. It wasn't a crazy angle or anything. And I wonder if it just had something to do with Liam Ryan not having much confidence after missing a couple set shots early on in the game. But he decided to play on and just kicked it right on the full. And it's like when you're down 7 points with about 2 minutes to go, you need to – even the behind is useful in that situation. And that was really just a brain fart, to say the least. I don't know. And he's one of the senior players on the team, so that was – kind of deflating. I was very surprised to see him do that. I mean, it would have looked better, I guess, if you would have had it. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's right for the team and not make that type of bonehead mistake, considering the game's not over yet. Harley Reid started in the middle. I meant to say that earlier. Started in the middle of this game. They've been playing at halfback the last couple games, I believe. And, yeah, man, Jack Williams, at the end of the game, it might have been under a minute, he had a set shot in front of goal, and he made it. Which pushed the lead to 2 for Essendon. And then there was a last-minute effort for West Coast to try and keep the ball, like the ball spilled out to the boundary. Nice little tap in to keep it active. And all that momentum was killed by Nick Martin, the West Australia boy, taking a mark and killing the game with like 7 seconds left. So it was a good game, bro. I didn't expect this game to be a good game. I say it again, I was impressed by West Coast's effort. I hope we could see more of that. I know McQualter was probably happy. The West Coast fans gave a standing ovation, clapped the boys off as they lost. I know they probably disappointed with the result considering how they started, but it's still encouraging considering how the rest of the season been going and getting flattened all year. So yeah, Essendon, they got away by the skin of their teeth this game. I will say they have played decent, but at the end of the day, that win does come at what cost? Because Sam Draper looked like he did either a knee or Achilles. It was a non-contact injury similar to how Brody Kemp got hurt. And so that's going to hurt their stocks considering they already have Nick Bryan, who was their their other ruckman who tore his ACL, confirmed torn ACL. So, and also on top of that, Xavier Dersma took a knee to the side of the stomach or something like that, and he looks like he's out of there. He's not playing for at least maybe a couple weeks, I would imagine. So, but it was impressive still, though, at the end of the day, because Zach Merritt is the skipper for Essendon, as we all know, and he didn't have his best game at all, considering the form that he's been in the last couple weeks. But yeah, Essendon, I don't want to just say that they're good yet, because they have played some cupcake teams so far, but the way that they won, it has been impressive for them to fight back. You just got to keep an eye on those teams, man. Just kind of like the last game we were talking about. You just got to see how the momentum carries the teams, and I hope West Coast can build something off this. Just take the positive and learn from your mistakes. Learn from Liam Ryan's mistake, because that was uncalled for. I ain't gonna lie. If he hits that, they potentially could win the game. But I won't harp on it too much. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube shit. Check the rest of the games coming out. We got, I think, 3 games coming up tonight. So be live for that. Y'all tune in if y'all want to. And see you there.